All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. I'm a little under the weather, but I at least wanted to make a quick video. My goal is actually one more after this, but I'm going to cover Game, AMC, and Chewy on this one. Kind of a meme stock, you can say, all right? Look, I'm going to start off with saying it. Obviously, I'm going to talk about it again shortly, but I like GameStop right now. I think there's a very, very interesting setup. Clearly, I need confirmation, all right? I'm not here to get too excited about a single candle, but today we closed over all five moving averages. And what I actually really like is look, wick, doji, wick, literally 5 out of the 6 days has made an attempt on that 100 moving average, with today being the first one that closed over it. All right, so that's a really, really strong attempt. We've seen the strong attempt gap down and fail hard, right? So we've been here before, obviously a different line, but we're watching this 100 moving average very, very hard right now. And look, not to get political, you know that's never what I'm here for, but there's a lot of uncertainty today, all right? We are literally 50-50 coming into the day of the election, and I mean, so many just crazy hypotheses about what'll happen if this happens, what'll happen if that happens, and I mean, it's the uncertainty is kind of good, I think, for GameStop, for a meme stock, right? Where most I use the word real with all due respect, right? But where most real stocks are going to hinder with uncertainty, meme stocks can do well, right? So, yeah, game is, I think, well worth the attention, all right? I'm not liking AMC so much. I don't think I'm going to spend too much time on it. But, yeah, AMC is not quite there. As I'm saying these words, I don't think I'm even going to cover AMC. This is pretty much all I'm going to say on it. But, look, AMC, if you can get up here, I'll be real happy. Obviously, I have my $5 line, right? $4.98. But I love it over 5. I think you can make an argument that maybe 488 is an interesting place. I see it's the bottom of this, almost half of this, the bottom of this, almost half of that. Like 488 is a decent number. I think for a couple cents more, it's a little better confirmation. But hey, the other interesting thing you can say is maybe if it could get over 455, you can make the move up to basically that 488 I just said, right? So maybe 455 to 488 is an interesting, just under 10% trade. But yeah, GameStop is trying to get over all five moving averages. AMC is under 4 of the 5. It's under the 8 moving average. I mean, it's not as strong. So I think I'm not going to cover this one, but I at least spent a little extra time here. And then CHWY Chewy. Listen, I know a lot of people are focusing on Roaring Kitty not being in this. Listen, don't worry if that dude's in it. Don't worry if I'm in it. That's never what we care. Don't let other people's buy and sell dictate yours, all right? What I like is we're over all 5 moving averages. We've broken the 50 average volume the last couple days, and there's actually an S&P uplisting happening for Chewy. So there's some real fundamental news. There's some real good technicals happening. I think this is an interesting one. So these will be the 1-2 I cover, Chewy, and then I'll start with game, as I mentioned, all right? But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal, support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I'm so grateful for it, all right? So, GameStop, look, Only in Paradise has been asking about this basically every moment, and I've basically been saying, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. I think GameStop is close. All right. GameStop is at the moment. All right. We are physically over all 5 moving averages. All right. break all five and fly is one of my trademark catchphrases for a reason, right? There's a difference between being over a line and breaking, all right? So we are physically over it for sure. We just still have not broken it yet, all right? But I mean, there's a lot to like right here, all right? I mentioned in the beginning of the video, look, to me, a moving average is a lot like the game Jenga, all right? You can pull a square out of a couple certain corners, keep pulling it. At some point, you can't pull it from there anymore. The thing is going to topple, right? We've been attacking, GameStop has been attacking this 100 moving average. Wick attempt and fail. Actually closing over with the doji. You know doji never counts, but this is an attempt, right? Again, wick attempt, clearly fail. Wick attempt, clearly fail. Hey, this one actually closes over, right? So I love the fact that 5 out of the 6 days has been battling that 100 moving average. Today's a nice, decent one over. Look, I see it coming down a little bit after hours. I do not care at all. After hours does not mean what regular hours means, at least to me. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's hard to ignore it. Believe me, I know that. But this did the job today, all right? There is some golden crosses happening with the 8 moving average. Look, there's a lot of lines that are really close to each other, right? And there's a lot of golden crosses, death crosses, golden crosses. I don't want to talk about them just yet because again, we might just be going up and down like this thing's been doing for a couple months, right? But make me believe that we've broken all 5, and I mean green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, red, red. There's a lot that can move quickly if we can get over basically 24 bucks. All right. I do think that this 28.70 is going to be a resistance. I don't think that this is an easy little line, but oh my goodness, the real party comes if we can get over 29 bucks. All right. But hey, even going from this 23 to 29, you're adding about 6 bucks. Roughly speaking, that's about a 25% move right there, right? So 6 bucks, even if we can't get over that 29 magic number, hey, just getting there ain't that bad. You know what I mean? Because again, every 2 something is 3%, right? Or sorry, is 10%, right? We're basically adding about 3 of those. So it's a nice channel right here, and then obviously you see my resistances. I sincerely ask you, do not have $60 dreams on a $20 stock, all right? I even think 45 is far, far, far too aggressive. I think 29 is a realistic target. Maybe you can make the argument of 31. Okay, again, I think 29 is just a little more realistic, and that's a real big double-digit number, all right? Look, let's take a look at the MACD and our lower indicators down here. We are in the positive. We do have green over red. I wish the RSI was a little more consistent, right? Like, we clearly had it, we clearly don't, and I mean, yeah, I actually still see red over, right? And yeah, you can see it in the box. The RSI is at 60, the average line's at 61, right? But it makes me believe that the green might take over, right? So I like the MACD. I think the RSI is and has been very, very flat. Ooh, excuse me, a little bit of a hiccup there. So I think we can still, I don't want to say ignore, but I'll take the positivity of the MACD as well as the 100 moving average break. Look, volume, 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 volume. When you move all the way up here and you're pushing almost 300 million shares a day and you're basically averaging 150, easily you can say you're averaging 91 million shares a day. What that's going to do is that's going to take your white line from down here all the way to up here, right? And all of a sudden, you've just got, I mean, sorry, there's no real good view of it, but you've got months and months and months and months and months and months and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks where you're just living completely under the average, right? All of a sudden, that little anomaly is gone. All of a sudden, we're kind of back down to roughly normal. Look, we've still been struggling, but Get me closer to 10 million shares, and man, this can do some crazy things. All right, so look, if I'm looking for 11 million shares in a 7 hour trading day, we want roughly 1.5 million shares in that first hour. Let's call it 4 million in that second hour. It's probably a little bit of an aggressive roundup, but if you can get close to, look, in a full day, we got 5 million shares today. I'm asking for basically 3 to 4 in 2 hours, right? So if you can start bringing those level volumes, oof, that can do some really, really good things, especially given our attempt to break them all right? Where are we on the weekly? Look, I like this weekly a lot. I like the weekly for two reasons. Actually, the RSI looks a little bit better right here. What really caught my eye is obviously we're over the 20 and it's still a little early, right? But I think the fact that the 200 moving average is next to this line, it makes me feel really good about the line. And hey, this is a nice channel, right? Like it's nice to break the 20 and go all the way up to the 200. Like that's a good little red, 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 nothing, nothing, nothing. I like this. And I think this weekly echoes a lot of what I was saying on the daily. All right. So I think for now, anywhere from 28, 29 to 31 is the target. Look, if we go below you right here, I think I'm just pulling hairs. 22.25. $22.25 is probably the death line, but realistically, all you're probably going to do is drop a little less than a dollar. Like these two lines should be very hard to lose. You know what I mean? So I think the better death line is probably all the way down here at like 21.40. All right. But yeah, realistically, the goal tomorrow is break all five and fly. All right. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's take a look at Chewy. And I remember mentioning Chewy in the group here. CHWY. Ah, SMCI tank. That's horrible. Oh, I did not put the headline, did I? Ah, no one put it after me. Dang. Okay, I know I saw a headline. There was an S&P uplisting. I think it's moving to the S&P mid cap. It is for sure replacing a current ticker that's in there, right? So an uplisting is an amazing, amazing thing. Look, there's a lot of indices out there. I generally only talk about three of them. There's also the Russell. The Russell's a really big one. And I mean, the Russell has the Russell 1000, 2000, 3000, right? There's a couple others that I know I'm not even smart enough to know, you know what I mean? So um, if you're gonna uplist and you're gonna uplist an S&P uplist, oh, that's a really strong thing. That is why we gapped up yesterday. That is why we went from below most of them to above most of them, and actually above all five at the moment. I'll get to that shortly, right? But this was a real news thing. The volume has consistently grown, right? That's a very nice slope. Like that's a healthy growth, lovely. Both like this to me, this I think is real here, all right? And when we look at the weekly. It's basically right where I ended with GameStop. Get me over these four, and all of a sudden I got to think to myself, the fifth one's all the way up here. Red, red, green, green, sorry, green, 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 red, green, 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 red. I mean, this could be a pretty fast track up. Give it a couple weeks, right? Over weeks, maybe months, right? But Chewy, I like it. Chewy, I don't care if Roaring Kitty has shares. You should not care if I have shares. All I try to do, right, is look at these colorful lines, let the technicals say the story, look at some headlines to see if there's actually some fundamental stuff behind it. But right now, Chewy seems like a pretty nice thing. And you know, I didn't really talk about the market much, but this was a nice day on the S&P 500. I went from getting scared to really, really being like, are we about to get back over all five right here? I'll look at the Dow Jones because I don't think Chewy cares much about the Nasdaq. Dow Jones was looking especially scary, and just like the S&P 500, it held that 50 moving average, right? So I think with the Dow and the S&P 500 looking good, Chewy looks nice. Now, all right, you can argue Chewy is a website, so maybe Nasdaq matters, even if you want to look at Nasdaq. Hey, Nasdaq kind of reminded me of the S&P 500. It's not as strong a close, but this one's actually over all five at the moment right now, right? So each of the three with a very, very big day today. Each of the three need to confirm tomorrow. But hey, that makes me feel a little more comfortable about Chewy. And let's say they don't confirm. I think Chewy has a little bit of a meme stock in it that it could actually do all right if the indices don't do well. You know what I mean? But one more time, to me, I think the emphasis here is actually more the fundamental news than it is the technicals. Up listing, up listing, up listing. If you see a stock that gets uplisted, generally speaking, that's going to sustain a very good uptrend. All right. My next line, you can see it. It's up here at 32. You can see this channel. I hope you see it before I say it. Oh my goodness. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Let's just end it right here because this is 2023. Literally nothing, 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 red, 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 nothing, nothing, red, 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 nothing, nothing, green, green, red, red, nothing. Like this is a fast 28 to 32. And even above that to there, you can just see it. All it is just fast up and down, fast ups and downs. And we actually haven't even touched this $32 line since middle of 2023. Okay. If we can get over that, to me, that reminds me of high tide. High tide just got over a resistance that I couldn't break for about a year and a half, and it just flew to the next one. You know what I mean? I could see that being reminiscent of Chewy. It's been about a year and a half since we've been over that line. You get me over it, I think we'll fly, especially because, again, so much red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, green, green. Oh, I love it. You know what I mean? I think it's a little aggressive at the moment to think $40. 32.50 seems realistic. It's not the biggest of percentages from here, but you break 32.50, that's where you can make a nice, what, a little more than 20%. We're adding way more than 7, right? So I am liking Chewy over, like I said, I think weeks could be nice. Look at this thing. We haven't really yet confirmed a break of the 100 moving average. That's a good candle. None of those confirmed. All right. That's a good candle. That doesn't confirm, and clearly none so far. This might be the first time we try to get over the 100 moving average on the weekly. I think that echoes what seems like a lot of positivity on the daily. And again, I think an S&P 500 uplisting, not S&P 500, I think it was S&P mid cap. I don't really know. Again, I'm not here pretending I know it all, right? But I think you say the words S&P 500 and uplisting, that makes me believe you're going to break a moving average for the first time ever. I think those two can go hand in hand. All right. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Oh, I appreciate you so, so much.